What's up, people? SciFan16, Quig here, back again with another episode of Dunce Cap. You know, this will be part 5. Count it, 5 of parts of the 7-part Artemis Fowl off-topic series, the segment that I'm doing here. And so we'll get right into it as usual. So here I am with another hardcover, and you know, this is Eoin Colfer's Artemis Fowl: The Lost Colony, Book 5, and everything. And so after all the events of Book 4, we are back with Book 5, which adds a different thing into it, because obviously since now we've had, you know, we've had, you know, a human villain, we've had Artemis Fowl as the villain, we've had, you know, Opal Cowboy as, you know, the villain twice, you know, so you got to do something different yet again, you know, because you got to keep things interesting, change it up, you know. I get it, and I like it. I really like this because it introduces some fun new characters and everything like that, so I like that. And basically what the Lost Colony is mentioning is, what the Lost Colony is the island of Hybris, which is the island of demons, which demons are actually, you know, one of the 8 families, one of the 8 fairy families, I guess. And so, but like 10,000 years ago, the warlocks lifted Hybris out and placed it in limbo, you know, and everything. So time became no factor because they lifted out of time and space, literally. It was just there in limbo and everything, and they lifted it out of the Earth's crust, so like there's this chunk of the Earth missing. That is where Hybris used to be. And that's where all the demons live and everything. And so what the story, well, a couple of new characters we got. We have Abbott, which is a full-grown demon that actually has a little bit of magic in him. I wonder how that happened, because when demons evolve or morph, they lose whatever magic they might have had, while demon warlocks never morph. They stay looking like imps, but, you know, keep their magic. So it's kind of give or take. But there hadn't been a demon warlock since, you know, Hybris was placed into limbo, and all of them died, apparently. And so so they're floating in limbo. And so this book, for at least the first quarter or something like that, hops back and forth between Earth, regular time, and limbo. You know, because we follow the character number 1, or Runt, who is a demon imp, who, you know, you can automatically start off and be like, hey, he can do a little bit of magic stuff, so he's going to be a demon warlock. Awesome. And so a lot of it's following him and his, you know, his life on Hybris, and how he's not treated very well at all, obviously. And then, you know, back on Earth, where we have Artemis Fowl, of course, up to, he's not up to no good. He's just up to solving things. Very complex math problems that just so happen to involve all the demons on Hybris. Why? Because the time warp is unraveling, which means that suddenly they're going to start popping up all over the place, and that would cause a lot of panic. So that'd be bad. And so Artemis has been going around to places trying to find one, so that way he can figure out what's all going on and everything. But little does he know, that he has, you know, a rival of sorts. A little 12-year-old Italian girl. French. No, it's Italian, I'm pretty sure. And her name is Minerva. And so she's pretty smart too. She knows of Artemis Fowl. You know, she enjoys what he does, but you know, she wants to make her own sort of mark as being a child prodigy genius and everything like that. And her doting father, you know, has been willing enough to spend his money on doing stuff and everything. And of course, then you got her, or like their security, the security person that they hire, not their head security person, but the security person that they hire, Billy Kong, who is a very dangerous man according to Butler, and that's meaning something coming from Butler, because Butler's a very dangerous man. So if he says somebody's a very dangerous man, you better believe it, because yeah. So but Billy's got a couple of screws loose in his head, thanks to some traumas in his childhood and everything like that. But those are like the basic new characters for this one and everything. And so, like say, a good portion of this book is like say hopping back and forth between the current Earth and Hybris, between what's going on with Artemis and the fairy people, and what's going on with number 1 on Hybris. And then those two stories converge, where number 1 gets locked, attached to Earth in present with Silver, and so that way he doesn't get thrown back into the warp and back to Hybris, or just somewhere lost in time and space. And so then it becomes a battle between Artemis and his crew and Minerva and her crew and everything, and back and forth. And then after that, it becomes a battle between Artemis and crew plus Minerva versus Billy Kong and his men in Taipei, or in Taiwan, at a really big tower and everything. And so they do, kind of do some stuff there, and then the rest of the book pretty much takes place on Hybris. A couple of them get transported back to Hybris. And there's some reveals along the way, of course. But Hybris, where they get taken there, and then they got to face off against a bunch of demons, and then the rapidly unraveling and warping time, or the spiral and everything. Limbo was coming unraveled and everything, and so it was a race against time, where they had all the time and yet no time, which is oddly, I don't know, it's pretty interesting how that coincidentally is and everything. And so that's kind of how that goes and everything. There, and you still got your wonderful bits of comedy and drama, some good drama in here. It's a neat change up for the story to make, like, you have a couple of different, like, sort of villains and everything, but they just don't feel like full-fledged villains really and everything. So like the characters didn't seem quite as in danger as usual, especially compared to the last one in the Opal Deception, but still pretty perilous nonetheless. They're traveling through time and space, and they got to hold themselves together with their minds and everything, and so it's something else. And then what I like is that starting in this one, you only get a tiny hint But there's a tiny, tiny hint of romance. Interspecies romance. Blooming. Very, very, very lightly, slowly. But you can see it. It's there in plain sight, and I enjoy it. Like, it was the one thing that I felt like kept me from enjoying the series more, was there to be some sort of romance part of it, and I had counted on it from the beginning. I was just waiting for it to show up, and it took till the 5th book for a sliver of light to be shed on such a thing. And so that's something I was then looking forward to in every book, wanting to figure out what was going to happen next. And obviously you know which two I'm talking about without me saying it, but if you don't, then you can read it and figure it out yourselves. Damn it. I mean, because I'm not going to tell you, because I'm just telling you the gist of stuff, so that way you read it. Or you can just ask me and then I might tell you. But yeah. So that's kind of how this goes and everything. Some you know, cool stuff. I like the change up in pace for this 5th book and everything. So yeah. But like I said, that's kind of all I got on that one and everything. And so like I say, this has been episode, you know, or part 5 of 7 in my Off-Topic Dunce Cap segment of Artemis Fowl book series by Eoin Colfer. And so I'm William Quick, Side Fan 16, signing off.